guys, I'm your educator Shulagna Ghotok. Today I wanna brief you about the topic speciation. So let's see some introductory facts about speciation. So first of all, the term speciation was first proposed by biologist Orator F. Cook in the year 1906. So first of all, what is species? A group of organisms which are capable in successful interbreeding. So as a result, there should be a fertile offspring. This is called a group of species. And what type of species? Successful species. Because if a group of organisms are not interbreeding successfully among themselves, then we can't take it as a category of species. So speciation is an evolutionary process in which a population evolved to originate a new distinct population through generation after generation. So it takes a long period of time, or I can say it's a time consuming procedure. So let's see an hypothetical example of speciation. So in this picture, suppose this is the parent population or original population of beetle. Nextly, if a river flows through that population, then the groups which are present into the parent population took divisions and proceed into two different directions. Now, natural selection pressure are created according to new area. That's why some changes should happen upon them. But initially, it can't be prepared into two different species. So this area is called speciation area. So what is speciation area here? Speciation area is time lag of speciation which can create differentiation between two groups of species throughout the time as compared to the ancestral population. And lastly, when the process of speciation has completed, then it is fully produced two different or two individual species, and between those species interbreeding is impossible because between those two species huge amount of genetic variation has produced. That's why. So here interbreeding is the main factor for speciation. Okay? Now, if we see in a cumulative way, then I can say that the process of speciation is advantageous as well as disadvantageous in different cases for environment, such as the advantages are variation are coming in organism by this process. That's why it helped to the organism to cope up with the environment. So moreover, the competition between the species for food, shelter and space become reduced. Right. So then, what is the meaning of variation here? Variation is gradual changes in DNA, and we know that it mainly leads to the process of evolution. Now, this process is disadvantageous also, because when some new species are formed from an ancestral population, then the originality become lost because new genes are introduced into the gene pool. That's why. Now, speciation can be divided into four types, such as allopatric speciation, parapatric speciation, peripatric speciation and sympatric speciation. So let's see in details about those categories. So first of all, allopatric speciation. Here allo means geographical barrier and patri means place. So allopatric speciation is a type of speciation that occurs when a population becomes physically or geographically isolated from each other to an extent by any other natural barrier, which prevents or interferes with gene flow. That means all the genetic makeup will be changed in the organism by random mutations. So they can't interbreed into themselves, and gradually they become divided into two different species into two individual geographical areas as shown in this picture. Suppose this is the original population. There are lots of different species were present, but if suddenly river flows or mountain arised, which are geographical barriers, then total population divided into two different parts in two different areas, and different natural factors can also act upon them. Then they become isolated reproductively, which is very much important. That means they can't interbreed into themselves due to difference in location and preference, because they are already mutated genes from the original or parent population, right? Nextly, the second type is peripatric speciation. Here peri means periphery. So peripatric speciation is a special version of allopatric speciation mode, in which new species are formed by the isolation process of a very few individuals from the periphery of the parent population, but into the nearest area of the original population. So here, what is the meaning of isolation? The isolated population, which is shown in this dark blue circle, which are drifted from the periphery of the original population, are not interested to breed with the parent population, but are frequent to breed with each other into that isolated population. Here, isolated or peripheral population, which is formed from the original population by migration, can be due to geographical or physical barriers. That means due to loss of food, shelter or space, and many other evolutionary forces can also work upon them, like natural selection, genetic drift, etc. Clear? Okay. Now, the third type is parapatric speciation. Here para means adjacent. That means the new species occupy the adjacent or neighbor part of that same population. So parapatric speciation is one type of speciation in which there are no any extrinsic barrier to gene flow, so that gene flow occurs unequally. That means reduction in gene flow become possible, but which I can say a disadvantage of speciation process that I have told earlier, right? Secondly, in this type of speciation, reproductive isolation occurs. When a population enters into a new niche or habitat within the range of original population, that means the new species does not mate randomly with the parent population or with the other part of that same population range. As shown in this picture, this part of population is not interested to mate with this part of population randomly, but they can interbreed with each other in their own population. And thirdly, the reasons behind this speciation may be toxicity or pollution in nature. Okay, so nextly, the last type of speciation is sympatric speciation. Here sim means within or inter or same. So this is very interesting type of speciation, because in this speciation, newly formed species still living with the ancestral species by inhabiting the same geographical region. So here geographical isolation has not occurred, as you can see in this picture. Its reason and result both are dependent upon reproductive isolation, because in this type of speciation, reproductive isolation occurs. That's why speciation occurs. Clear? So reproductive isolation can be possible due to many factors like competition for food, shelter, partner selection, etc. Now let's see the all types of speciation in summary form. Actually, students often getting confused among the types while solving the MCQs. So let's start. First of all, original population. Every type should have one ancestral or original or parent population. Nextly, in allopatric speciation, we have seen that the formation of barrier. But in peripatric speciation, we have seen that the new species enter into the new niche of the periphery separately. In parapatric speciation, we have seen that the new species enter into the new niche, but that must be linked with the original population. In sympatric speciation, we have seen that there are no any movement of new species from the original species, so genetic polymorphism can occur. Lastly, when I can say that the process of speciation has completed, when their reproductive isolation happen. That means the new species can interbreed between themselves, because their mating preference, eating habits, habitat gradients, and also mating behavior become changed. That's why. Clear? Hope now all the topics are crystal clear to all of you. Okay. Now come to the various evolutionary forces behind speciation. There are mainly three evolutionary forces behind the process of speciation, which are mutation, natural selection, and genetic drift. First of all, mutation. We all know that continuous and random mutation is the main source of genetic variation. If mutation will happen in a same group of species, then species become changed as compared to the previous population. Secondly, the natural selection. It's a predetermined and non-random process. We know that in natural selection, when any species come into a new geographical area, then nature create a pressure to change in their gene flow according to the nature. So genetic variation become produced. Thirdly, the genetic drift, which is a random procedure in which allele frequency become changed in generation after generation in a population. In genetic drift, bottleneck effect and founder effect are two types by which reproductive isolation occurs, and two different species cannot interbreed with each other after speciation. This genetic drift topic is very much important, guys, mainly for competitive exam purpose. So I have made an individual video about genetic drift, so you can follow that video if you need. Link has been provided into the description box. Okay, so those are the three main different evolutionary forces behind speciation, which mainly help to produce reproductive isolation in organisms. So hope your concept about this topic have been cleared after this session. If you have any doubt, then please comment below into the comment section, and also you can reach to us through our mail ID, which is into the description box. There has also provided a link of MCQs in the description box so you can test yourself by those questions. So thanks for watching and don't forget to subscribe, then you can get notification about my next videos which is coming on every Sunday. Stay safe, stay tuned.